Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by
Mark,
Steve. And we've just finished playing 3 Laws of Robotics, which is a sort of social deduction game. You can see if you look around, Steve is a number 3 robot, but it's secret, okay? He doesn't know that because he can't look at his own card. So Mark is a number 4 robot. The other player here was a number 1 AI. And then we've got a number 2 android, and then I don't know what I am because I'm not allowed to look at my own cards. So no one knows what they are, but they can, when they look around, see everyone else's cards. Now there's 3 teams: there's the android team, the AI team, and the robot team. And the numbers can go up to 5, but in the number of players we were playing with, they just go to 4. So that's the highest number you can get for this particular game. And what you're trying to do at the end is to pass all the keys onto the person who's on your team with the highest number. So if I think I'm an android, you can see there's a 2 there, or there's no other androids, and my number's probably higher than 2, so I will kind of want to keep all the keys. But if I think I'm a robot, then I probably want to give them to Mark, because that's the highest robot number I can see. I definitely wouldn't want to give them to Steve, because he's a robot as well. Oh, but if I'm an AI, I kind of want to persuade this person to give me his key. So first of all, you've got to try and work out what team you're on. The way you do that is you go around and you each ask one question. So I kind of hold my card up, and I might say to Mark here, Mark, am I a robot? Because I'm thinking, oh, he's a robot, so maybe we can sort of persuade each other to help each other out. And he says yes, but Mark could be lying, you see. I just don't know if he's telling the truth or not. And then Mark would ask a question.
so am I an AI?
And he's asking me, and I could say, yes, you're an AI. But I've just lied, and he doesn't know. But you can ask anything you like. So you could ask...
Mark, is my number higher than Jonathan's?
No, it is not.
So there's all kinds of things you can ask. I mean, you can even ask what's the weather like outside. You can really ask anything you like. But obviously it's helpful to ask about the cards you've got. So you each go around asking one question, and then if I started, it comes down to me, and I decide, based on the answers to the questions, whether or not I keep my key or give it to someone else. So I might think, for whatever reason, that I'm on Mark's team, and I say, Mark, would you like to take my key? And it's his choice. He doesn't have to.
Yes.
All right, so he takes the key. And then Mark decides what to do with his key.
Would you like my key?
No, because I've just given mine away. I think Mark's got them, so you can keep that key. I don't want it. And then Mark, when it comes down to him, can choose to keep or give away all of his keys.
Would you like my keys?
I wouldn't.
So Steve thinks...
Would you like my key?
Yes, I would,
Steve thinks Mark's on his team. Anyway, obviously there's a lot of guesswork to a certain extent here. But then you reveal what you are, and what was I? Oh, I was a number 3 AI. So actually I kind of wanted the keys. But in terms of the robot team, all the keys on the robot team were with the highest robot. So they kind of win for their team, and they get a point. And in terms of the androids, Mark was the only android, so he succeeded because all the keys on his team were with the highest numbered android. If you are the only one on your team, though, and you manage to get an extra key, you'd get an extra point. But equally, if you have the most keys, you see the robot team managed to get the most keys, then they also get an extra point. So these guys both can get 2 points. So you just essentially play a few rounds of that. However, after the first round, things get shaken up a little bit by adding a law. In this case, it says... players cannot tell the truth to AIs. So if an AI is asking you a question, you have to lie to them. And then you play another round, exactly what we had, where you get points. And then another law would come out. And this says, players cannot say player names. Now, if you make a mistake when doing this, let's just say, you go, okay, Mark, you'll go.
Error.
Then somebody says, error. And they get one of these tokens, which is worth a point at the end. So that's another way you can get points, by effectively catching people out when they break the laws. So as I say, you play one round without the laws, then you gradually add the laws until you've got 3 laws altogether, and then at the end, most points wins. What do you think?
It's very confusing on the first round. As the more laws come up and you get to know what people are doing, it gets a bit easier, but it's still slightly random.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, there is deduction to this game, but it's incredibly fragile. Ultimately, if all players lie, it'll fall apart. You have to have somebody telling the truth. So it's hard for me to say the game itself's great, but the thing is, it does actually make me laugh every time I played it, and for a party game, for me, that's part of the point of playing a party game. So I'm not sure about the game itself, but the bit that makes me laugh is great.
Steve?
I mean, you can't just lie all the time, because if everyone's lying, then you know, well, that's clearly a lie, and then you just do the opposite of what they've said. And so you've got to be telling the truth, and you've got to try and be telling the truth when you think they're on your team, or when you think the answer's actually going to be some use to you. If you think they're just asking a question because they're not on your team or whatever, and or a lying in this particular case will definitely make them do the wrong thing, you can do that. If you all know what you're doing and if you all know what you're doing and you've played before, and you can think about, why has Jonathan asked Mark that question? Why didn't he ask this person? Well, maybe that's because Jonathan thinks we're not on the same team, or that sort of thing. Why has he asked that particular sort of question? You can get into this, and apart from the very last round, I think on this particular game we played, I was, you can deduce exactly what we are. I got all of them right, apart from the very last round where Mark did me in. He ended up getting all the points in the last round, so we were close up to that point. But you can, if you're asking the right people the right questions and listening to the other questions people do, you can do it as long as you're not just being completely random. So if you come into this game and you are completely random, or you're just going to lie throughout and you're a bit too trusting, you might not enjoy this. But otherwise, there's the potential for a decent game here.
Racing?
Played with the right people, I think it's actually quite fun. Like Mark says, I've enjoyed every game I've played with it. Probably about 8.
Okay. Mark?
6.5 for me.
Mark?
7.
All right. Yeah, we were playing, and I said I feel like there's a good game in here somewhere. If you are good at bluffing, that definitely gives you an advantage, and being able to tell when other people are bluffing. If you're good at deduction, that also definitely gives you an advantage. However, even with those advantages, they're still quite small, really, because there's quite a lot of randomness that goes on. There'll be some games you'll be like, I haven't got a clue at the end of it, who's in what team, and you just sort of take your best get. But yes, it is fun from that point of view. I think I will be on a 6.5 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was 3 Laws of Robotics.